The cafe door chimed softly as Ethan pushed it open with his shoulder, balancing a paper bag of laundry under one arm and guiding his 6-year-old son, Noah, with the other. It was the only quiet moment in their week, a tiny pocket of warmth tucked between long hours at the warehouse and the endless responsibilities at home. The air inside smelled of cinnamon, roasted beans, and the faint sweetness of baked pastries. For most people it was comforting. For Ethan, it was survival. He lifted the bag slightly higher and forced a tired smile. "Go find us a table, buddy. I'll get the drinks." Noah nodded eagerly, his small sneakers tapping across the wooden floor as he moved between crowded tables. His excitement always made Ethan feel a little lighter. Whatever happened, at least he had Noah. That was enough. Or at least he kept telling himself it was. The line moved slowly. People scrolled through their phones, tapping impatiently, whispering about meetings, deadlines, and weekend plans. Ethan stood silently, rubbing the back of his neck. He hadn't slept more than 4 hours in the last 2 nights. Double shifts, sick leave replacements, and holiday season chaos had drained him dry, but Noah didn't need to know any of that. Noah deserved better. 2 hot chocolates and 1 black coffee, Ethan said when it was finally his turn, sliding a crumpled bill across the counter. "Extra marshmallows on 1. Long day?" the barista asked with a sympathetic smile. He chuckled wearily. "You don't know the half of it." While waiting for the drinks, Ethan scanned the cafe for his son. He spotted him near the window, sitting on a chair that was just slightly too big for him, swinging his legs as if he were floating above an invisible pool of excitement. But what caught Ethan's attention wasn't his son, it was the woman seated beside him. She was dressed in a tailored cream coat, the kind that seemed too elegant for a place where people spilled cappuccinos on tables. Her hair, a smooth chestnut brown, fell over her shoulders in soft waves. She had a pen in one hand, a stack of documents in front of her, and an expression of deep concentration, yet there was something gentle in the way her brows drew together, something soft behind the seriousness. Ethan's heart skipped, not because she was beautiful, although she was. Not because she looked important, although she clearly did. But because Noah was looking at her as though she were the most fascinating thing he had ever seen. Oh no, Ethan hurried toward the table with the drinks. Too late, Noah was already tugging on the woman's sleeve. "Hi," he said with a bright smile, completely unbothered by personal boundaries or adult expectations. "My name is Noah. What's your name?" The woman looked surprised at first, then her expression softened with genuine warmth. "Claire," she answered. "It's nice to meet you, Noah." "Sorry," Ethan mumbled, sliding the drinks onto the table. "He's friendly. Maybe a little too friendly sometimes." "It's all right," she said, offering a kind smile. "He's sweet." Noah grinned proudly. "Dad says I'm his best man." "Well, that sounds important," she replied, closing her folder just slightly. "Do you help him?" "I try," Noah said, sitting up straighter. "But he works a lot. He gets tired." Ethan felt heat rise in his cheeks and placed a hand on Noah's shoulder. "Okay, buddy, do you have a mom?" Noah suddenly asked, and Ethan froze. He felt the familiar punch in his chest, the ripple of pain he tried so hard to hide from his son. Noah didn't ask often, but when he did, it always hurt. Ethan had prepared answers, soft ones, simple ones, the kind that wouldn't break a little boy's heart. But every time, he felt like he was the one breaking. The woman hesitated, her eyes lowering for a brief moment before meeting Noah's again. "No," she said quietly. "Not anymore." Noah blinked. "Did your mom go away too?" Ethan opened his mouth. "Noah," but she lifted a gentle hand. "It's okay," she said softly. "Yes, she went away." Noah's lips pressed into a thin line, the way they always did when he was thinking very hard. And then, with the innocent boldness only a child could have, he looked up at her and said the words that made the entire cafe go silent. "Can you be my mommy for a day? Just today?" The pen dropped from her hand. A couple at the next table turned their heads, someone behind them stopped stirring their drink. Ethan felt the world tilt. Noah, he said, his voice cracking with embarrassment and panic. You don't ask people something like that. She's busy. She's working. She's a stranger. Noah's face fell, confusion and disappointment mixing in his wide eyes. She looks nice, Dad. Ethan's chest tightened painfully. Claire looked from Noah to Ethan, her expression shifting, surprise, sadness, something unspoken. And then, slowly, she knelt down beside Noah's chair. You're very brave to ask a question like that, she said softly. And very kind. But, why me? Noah shrugged in the way only a child could. You look lonely. The breath caught in her throat. Ethan felt his heart drop. He hated when Noah's innocence revealed truths adults tried to bury. Claire blinked slowly, as if trying to wash away memories she didn't want to revisit. Lonely, she whispered, almost to herself. Maybe I am. She looked up at Ethan. His posture was stiff, one hand pressed against the back of his neck, the other gripping the edge of the table. Shame and exhaustion clung to him like dust. I'm really sorry, he said. He doesn't understand boundaries. I'll talk to him. Please don't feel obligated to, I would be honored, she said quietly, cutting him off. Ethan blinked. What? Her smile returned, still gentle but touched with a hint of longing. If Noah wants me to spend the day with him, I don't mind. You don't have to, Ethan said, confused, overwhelmed. You probably have someplace to be, people to meet, work to. I do, she admitted. But not everything important fits neatly into a schedule. Noah's face lit up like someone had switched on a bulb inside him. Really? You'll be my mommy for a day? She touched his cheek softly. For today, she said. Yes. Noah let out a little cheer. Ethan sat down slowly, balancing shock, gratitude, and worry all at once. This wasn't normal. Strangers didn't do this. People didn't offer their time so freely. Especially someone like her, someone who looked like she belonged in glass towers, not in small cafes talking to father and son duos struggling to make ends meet, but he couldn't deny the way his son's entire world brightened in seconds. Are you sure? Ethan asked again, lowering his voice. He gets attached. And I don't want him to get hurt. Her eyes flickered with a hint of something sad. I won't hurt him. There was a sincerity in her tone that caught him off guard. Noah hopped off his chair and grabbed her hand with excitement. Can we draw? Dad brought my crayons. We can do whatever you want, she said with a warm smile. Ethan ran a hand through his hair, unsure of whether to laugh or panic. But every time he looked at his son's beaming face, something inside him nodded, ever so slightly. He watched Claire gather the papers she had been working on and tuck them into a leather bag. They looked heavy. Important. Corporate. But her attention had fully shifted to Noah. As if boardrooms and deadlines could wait, like she needed this more than she wanted to admit, Noah pulled out a small box of crayons and a few sheets of paper. Draw with me. Claire sat down beside him, leaning in with genuine interest. What should we draw? A family, he said instantly. Ethan winced. She paused for only a heartbeat before nodding. Okay. Let's draw a family. Noah began sketching with the chaotic confidence of a child, drawing stick figures with giant smiles and wobbly legs. Claire followed, her lines softer, more deliberate. When she finished, she showed her drawing, a little house with two figures holding hands, one tall and one small. Simple, but beautiful. Where's the mom? Noah asked, peering at her sketch. Claire hesitated, then drew a butterfly hovering above the house. That's her, she said. A little reminder she's still around. Ethan felt something twist in his chest. Pain? Sympathy? Recognition? He wasn't sure. Noah studied the drawing carefully, then nodded with an understanding far beyond his years. That's nice, he whispered. My mom is probably a butterfly too. Dad says she watches us. Ethan closed his eyes briefly. He had said that once, late at night, when Noah couldn't sleep. He hadn't expected the boy to remember. Claire placed a gentle hand on Noah's back. Then she must be a very proud butterfly. The cafe around them faded into background noise. It felt like the world had shrunk into their little bubble, a tired father, a hopeful child, and a woman who had unexpectedly wandered into their lives. Noah laughed, drawing a superhero cape on Ethan's stick figure. Dad is the strongest. He looks like it, Claire said softly, glancing at Ethan with something like admiration. Ethan shook his head. Just doing my best. That's more than enough, she whispered. For the next hour, they colored, talked, and laughed. Noah told her stories about school, about the stars he collected on his homework sheets, about the time his dad burned pancakes because he forgot they were cooking. She listened to every word with genuine interest. When the bell above the door rang and the cafe began to empty, Ethan checked the time. They should go. He didn't want to keep her longer, but Noah was still leaning against her arm, pointing at another picture he wanted her to draw. And Claire, she wasn't rushing. If anything, she looked calmer than when he first saw her. As if she hadn't felt peace like this in a very long time. Ethan cleared high.